I just want to quickly double check my audio on YouTube. Just want to make sure everything's all right here. By the way, let me know as I go through here. Let me know how the audio is for you and how everything looks. Just want to check my audio here. All right. So I think we're good with audio. Cool. All right. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this is just a bit of a test stream. By the way, I am planning on doing live coverage for what I believe is about to unfold in the Middle East. So if you're interested in live coverage, then make sure you're subscribed and make sure you switch on your notifications. All right, so first story for today, the big one. On February 27th, 2026, the Department of State authorized the departure of non-emergency U.S. government personnel and family members of U.S. government personnel from Mission Israel due to safety risks. And I've just got a clip here from Fox News that I want to share with you.
But the president gave a 10 to 15-day window for Iran to make a nuclear deal, and we are entering that window. So if a strike does occur, when it comes to timeline, when do you think this could happen?
Well, good morning, Carly. Good to be with you. And what we're doing in Embassy Jerusalem, as we are also in Embassy Beirut, we're doing this also with the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, is removing any non-essential personnel. So if the president does choose to take a military strike against Iran, they'll have the least number of American targets in the region. So that's just prudence. And the president has all the time in the world if he wants to take it. He has all the cards in his hand. What has been placed in the Middle East is unprecedented. And so if he does strike, he can do so with overwhelming force and, really set back the Iranian regime. That said, however, as the vice president said in your lead up, we prefer a diplomatic result to this. The offer is on the table for the Iranians if they choose to take it and prevent any military escalation from happening.
Well, we are hearing all the same words.
Right. And next from Israel Radar, Iran status update. Israel prepares for collapse of US-Iran talks and subsequent American assault. Israel estimates that Hezbollah and Houthis in Yemen will join the conflict. IDF bombed 8 Radwan force camps in Lebanon today ahead of possible clash. So a lot of people are seeing the strikes on Hezbollah as preparation for strikes from the US. Israeli officials, if Iran doesn't capitulate to US demands, we've reached the moment of truth. According to some Israeli assessments, Trump prefers a limited strike that would push Iranian regime back to negotiate. However, Israel is preparing for the most dramatic scenario, massive assault on Iran that will change the Middle East. And from JNS TV, I wanted to share this clip from military expert Andrew Fox, where he shares some possible scenarios
on the table. But I think we have to consider, first of all, that military strength is only one lever of statecraft, and diplomacy and economics are the other two. And arguably in 2026, information is the fourth.
Yeah.
So we have seen all of those levers getting pulled over the last few weeks. The sanctions are clearly working. Washington is trying something that looks like diplomacy. I mean, I'm skeptical about that ever succeeding, making a deal with the Iranians.
Do you think they're doing it just to say we tried?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think so. I don't think anyone...
Which they did already, didn't they? Yeah.
But it also, what it does is give time for the third lever to move into place, which is getting the necessary equipment and material into the Gulf ready to strike. And we've now seen 2 carrier groups.
Right.
Huge inload of fighters from across bases in Europe. It's actually still not quite the level it was for Iraq, which
Really?
gives you an idea of how massive that campaign was.
Wow.
So whether they've got enough stuff in theatre to actually topple the regime, that's to be decided, quite frankly. But when you look at the military options on the table, I see two potentially.
Okay.
The first is some kind of limited strike to try and force them back to the table and give up
But they're at
uranium.
But they are at the
Yeah,
table.
but they're not
But
agreeing.
they're not serious.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, so essentially a warning strike first, and say if you don't come to the table and give us what we want, then there will be a lot more. So that would make a logical escalation pathway. Or they could just go for it, where you see wave after wave of airstrikes on a daily, if not weekly, schedule, where they systematically dismantle the regime and the IRGC and all the security institutions. Now, we know Trump doesn't like long, protracted wars.
That's right.
So it could end up being somewhere in the halfway house, where they have a big airstrike, but it doesn't have a decisive effect.
But isn't that what we had in
All right. So just some thoughts there from Andrew Fox and some satellite images here of the F-22s that I wanted to share with you. By the way, I've got some beautiful photos coming up as well. New imagery released by Mazar Vision. So this is a Chinese satellite. Shows U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor stealth fighters at Ovda Air Base in Israel, with several seen on the runway, apparently departing for training mission. A USAF C-17 Globemaster 3 was also spotted at the base, likely delivering supplies. So let's take a look at some of these photos here. I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, so this is the big one. Right. Okay, so these are the, so here are the F-22s. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we're waiting for 24 in total. I might be wrong on that, but more are on the way from Lakenheath. Okay, and there's 4 more there. Right, great. And I wanted to show you, so these ones are expected to join them, but these are in Lakenheath. So this is the UK, RAF Lakenheath. Trent 32, 33, and 35 of the 421st Fighter Squadron at Hill Air Force Base touchdown at RAF Lakenheath. A total of 12 F-35s arrived from Hill AFB today. So this was, I think this is yesterday, this landing. Beautiful photos. I'm going to make this slightly bigger for you. Wow. You can actually see the pilot in there. That's so cool. Next. Yo. Beautiful machines. So cool. Credit to Havoc Aviation and Harry Moulton for these photos. All right, moving on. USS Gerald R. Ford, very close to Israel at the moment. Let me just, I'll show you some of this footage here. Sauda Bay, so Greek island. She now continues her journey towards the Israeli coast and is expected to arrive there tomorrow. Let me just make this bigger, so you can see there this monstrosity coming out from the mountains there. Wow. Okay. By the way, guys, just let me know if the audio is okay. I see there's not too many people on the stream, which is fine. It's just a bit of a test. I wanted to share this, a bit of a summary here from Defender. With the arrival of the USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and its carrier air wing in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, there are now more than 250 attack aircraft in the Middle East, with more than 100 additional attack aircraft spread out across Europe. This is in addition to the more than 125 US KC-135s and KC-46s spread across the region. Unprecedented. From Yoav Gallant, I wanted to share this. This is actually quite a big thing. It almost looks like he's preparing a thread, because look at the arrow pointing down. The coming weeks will shape the coming decades in the Middle East. So, and Trump on Iran. I just want to read this before I play it for you. US President Donald Trump on Iran. I'm not happy with the fact that they're not willing to give us what we have to have. We will have some additional talks today.
I'm not happy with the fact that they're not willing to give us what we have to have. So I'm not thrilled with that. We'll see what happens. We're talking later. We'll have some additional talks today. But no, I'm not happy with it.
All right, so big things coming for the Middle East. So that's all I've got for you for now. This was just a bit of a test live stream. If you do watch this, let me know what you thought of the quality, the audio quality, and things like that, and the audio levels. I have, I've got a little mixer here, so I can adjust audio levels and things like that, which is great. And yeah, if you are looking for live coverage on what I believe will be a massive war coming, I do believe it's imminent, and I do think it's inevitable. I think negotiating with the IRGC is near impossible. I didn't think anything. I'd be very surprised if a deal went through. So I'm expecting big things, and a lot of people are saying, this evacuation here, the embassy in Jerusalem, all of this is, massive signs for something coming very, very soon. I saw a post saying the last time we saw the 12-day war, everyone was evacuated about 2 days before. And also this week, by the way, I saw, there were rumors of GPS jamming and stuff like that. So when all of these stories start happening, then you can get ready for something to go down. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now, ladies and gents. But yeah, I am planning to do live coverage of what I think is coming. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope this turned out okay. I'm going to go back and just have a listen to everything and make sure the quality is good. But otherwise, to all of you who've shown so much support, and I know I miss a lot of comments and things like that. So if I have missed your comments, please know that I'm really grateful for the support. So many of you, just so kind. And I do enjoy doing this. I enjoy speaking about Bible prophecy, and I enjoy kind of, keeping track of what's going on with Israel and the Middle East. So yeah, it's great to have some support. All right, everyone. Well, to the 18 of you that were here watching, thank you so much. God bless. And